Yes, man. We're back in the building, man. That's 2 days in a row. Imagine that, me doing streams 2 days in a row. Yes, Christmas has come early. Big up to everybody, man. Big up to those in the building, whether you're watching this on a replay later on, whatever the vibes, man. Just make sure you, of course, you smash the like, you share, you subscribe, man. You subscribe to the channel, man. We're back with the Premier League Roundup for game week 6. This one was an interesting one, proper interesting one, man. Obviously, teams dropping points, teams gaining points. Yeah, it's looking like it might be a fun Premier League title race. But let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. We're only 6 games into the Premier League, so we already know that a lot can obviously change. Now, this was the table before we kicked off this weekend's games. Obviously, we had Liverpool at the top, 5 points clear of Arsenal, Spurs, and Bournemouth in second, third, and fourth. So we had a bit of a gap. Do you know what I mean? And I remember saying prior that, like, I prefer, doesn't really matter what stage of the season, but I like having that gap over teams. Do you know what I mean? Like, I like knowing that, okay, even if it's game week 6, because sometimes it's difficult. Do you know what I mean? It's always going to be difficult for certain teams to be able to catch up, even at this early stage, do you know what I mean, of the season. So to be able to see that, I was like, okay, yeah, you know what? As much as I think, listen, look, we've spoken about Liverpool and, how they played and etc. But it doesn't really matter, because the reality is, as long as they're winning games, as long as they're putting points, do you know what I mean, on the board, then, do you know what I mean? Like, we're good to go. We're good to go. So yeah, that was good. Looking at the rest of the table, I was trying to, I was looking at the table, obviously, prior to this week's games, or the week just gone, should I say. I was just looking at the table, just thinking, it's interesting when you look at it, because, you know what I mean, you got, at the time, obviously at the beginning, was Sunderland was sitting in 7th. Do you know what I mean? At the time, they were ahead of both Manchester City, Man United, Newcastle, Brighton. Like, there's a lot of teams. Aston Villa down in the bottom 3. Do you know what I mean? Can't score a goal. It just looked all a little bit fugazi, you know what I mean, in regards to them. So there was a few teams. Big up goal ratio, man. Good morning to you. Yeah, there was a few teams in there, man. I was kind of just looking at, and I was intrigued. I can't lie. I reckon the only real surprise, again, it's only 5 weeks in, but it's always good to look at these kind of things. Man City obviously down there in 9th. At the time, I was like, that's 8 points behind Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? Like, you really are hoping that Liverpool do, finally drop some points, kind of thing. You're hoping that Arsenal drop some points. You're hoping that everybody above you, really and truly. Newcastle obviously down there as well. I kind of thought, it's kind of low, you know what I mean, at this stage of the season. But then also Nottingham Forest, do you know what I mean? Like, it was always going to be difficult for Forest, right, to be able to replicate what they did last season, which is obviously finishing in a European spot, doing really well in the season. We thought that they might even potentially get, Champions League and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, obviously towards the end of the season, it kind of just tailored off. Yeah, no, there's a few good teams in there. I mean, Everton sitting in 10th at the time, before they played, they were the last team to play against West Ham. So yeah, interesting one. But let's get into the fixtures or the results. There's only one place, of course, we're going to start off. We've spoken about this quite a lot on this channel. We've heard a lot, in regards to Liverpool on a slot. Liverpool finally lose a game. They lose a game to Crystal Palace, which they done in the Community Shield, 2-1. Eddie Nketiah with the late goal. Liverpool obviously pegging it back, getting the equaliser through Chiesa, after being 1-0 down in that first half to Sarr. Yeah, listen, look, we've spoken about this a lot. You know what I mean? We can dive into that in a separate stream, as we have done already. But yeah, for Liverpool, yeah, it was disappointing. Of course it is, to Crystal Palace, the kind of form and the kind of run, you know what I mean, that they've been on as of recent times. Like, they're the only unbeaten team left at the end of this weekend. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. And I think it's now, 18 games unbeaten for Crystal Palace. Like, that's nuts when you actually think about it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a big thing for them. Do you know what I mean? And especially being in Europe now as well this season, losing Eze in the summer, potentially losing Gabe, but then keeping him, getting in Yeremy Pino, who I think is a decent player as well to play in behind Mateta. Like they look like they've got. It's just all structured and it's all, you know what I mean. It's all nice there, but obviously we know with like Glasner, with Mark Gay, two people, should I say, they're both, you know what I mean, contracts are done at the end of the season. I really just hope that Palace can just kind of stay on this kind of trajectory because, listen, man, it's difficult breaking into that, like a top six. And I'm not, this isn't me saying that they will make a top six or anything like that. I don't know at this stage in time. I'm still just trying to ride the wave of them, you know, just playing really well and being unbeaten. But when I look at Palace, yeah, I always think to myself, you, Brighton, you know, Aston Villa maybe, but they're a bigger club, you know, than both of you guys. But you know, that kind of cohort of clubs, I look at them and I'm like, it's always going to be tricky for you guys to be able to break the mold. Do you know what I mean? To be able to get in there. Do you know what I mean? It's always going to be tricky. So to pick up victories like this, to be unbeaten for as long as they have, they're in a good moment. They're in a good space. They're a really well-run club, in my personal opinion. Yeah, man, it's just, yeah, it's going to be difficult. As long as they can just continue, maybe they can do a Nottingham Forest, you know what I mean, and then finish in a very, very high position, maybe even their highest position that they've ever finished in the Premier League since being in here. So yeah, it's looking good at the moment, but of course there's still going to be, you know what I mean, a few questions that need to be answered throughout the season as we go on. And yeah, in regards to Liverpool, I mean, yeah, Liverpool were just, yeah, I know Goal Ratio is saying he's blaming our loss on the boss and Salah. I don't know. I wouldn't blame it on just one player. I don't think it was a one-player issue. There was many issues I felt within the game in itself. I'd probably say more so on the gaffer, really and truly, just because of obviously how the second half kind of panned out in terms of Liverpool looking a tad bit better than they did in that first half. Him obviously changing personnel and stuff like that. Yeah, but also I think Ends mentioned this, like, or Savage, one of the two, about, you know, Liverpool played Crystal Palace how many times? You know what I mean? Like he's played them already in the Community Shield, but then obviously you got last season when we played them. We're gonna have to play them again. Like you need to really start sorting out this kind of system that they play with the three at the back, because we don't want that to be an obvious thing. When you play up against Liverpool, just play three at the back, have your 4 or 5, do you know what I mean, in the midfield, and then your one striker. Like we don't want that to just be a thing. We know Liverpool already have a problem breaking teams down anyway, in a general sense, and that's been going on since clock times. Do you know what I mean? So now to get to, you know, teams like this, and you know, with the way that Liverpool have been playing so far, I said this already, as much as we don't want to hear it, it was probably about time that Liverpool lost the game. Do you know what I mean? Because it almost felt like, oh, you think you can just continue going on like this? You feel like you can just keep playing poorly and it's going to be fun? No. We needed that loss because sometimes it's, you know, one step back but 2 steps forward. Do you know what I mean? Hopefully that, obviously that's the hope. You know, Liverpool now, they go into the next games and we could just play a bit better football. I'll be honest with you. I just think that playing better football can just, I don't know, it will push us to that kind of, that next level that I just think that at this current moment in time we are missing. Do you know what I mean? But listen, we'll just have to wait and see. Liverpool obviously losing that game. Yeah, as I said before, Crystal Palace on a really, really good run at this moment in time. I mean, you look at some of the results in there. 2-2 against Arsenal's in there. Beat Aston Villa 3-0. You know what I mean? That's in there. Obviously, the Liverpool game. Obviously, got the FA Cup. This is all competitions as well. That's crazy. I'm looking at this and yeah, that's actually kind of mad when I actually think about it. Like some of the results that they picked up in there. I mean, they've beaten Aston Villa twice, 3-0, both in the FA Cup and in the Premier League. So yeah, man, big up to them. Big up to them. Big up to them. Next up, we've got Arsenal. Big victory. Big. And I think I heard Gary Neville on commentary, you know, say it when Arsenal scored that second goal from Gabriel. Yeah, it's big. Do you know what I mean? And it sounds weird because obviously we're only in this early start of the season, right? And again, it's only 6 games in to a season. So I can totally understand it when people are like, oh, you're looking at the table. It's not really about looking at the table. Like ultimately, when you're at the top and when you're actually battling for honors and you're not a team like a Crystal Palace or even a Newcastle, where you're not necessarily looking at it like, oh, we're going to try and, you know, win the Premier League, but we're just trying to see if we can compete, you know, and then obviously finish as high as we possibly can. Like we're talking about 2 teams who are trying to win the Premier League, add Manchester City and maybe a Chelsea in there as well. So more or less every game becomes important. I'll be honest. Even game week 1, you know what I mean? Like you don't want to be points behind. It's so long. It's so long. You don't want to be chasing. You really don't want to be chasing. And I think one thing for Arsenal last season, when Liverpool would drop points, and it wasn't many times that Liverpool were dropping points, but when they did, Arsenal weren't really there to capitalize. And I always felt like, yeah, that's gonna be a bit of a problem. Do you know what I mean? Like, because if you can't capitalize, because there were moments like in the season where I wouldn't even say necessarily a bad run, but let's say from the PSG game onwards, right, where you might, I think was it lost the PSG or not got knocked out. Obviously, we lost the cup final. Do you know what I mean? I think we'd drawn or lost another game somewhere within that kind of mix. I can't fully remember. I could be absolutely waffling. But when you drop points, you need to be able to capitalize, because if you don't, it just makes your job 10 times harder, because now you're waiting, oh, let's wait until the next week, and then the next week, and then the next week. Do you know what I mean? And it's only going to be so many times that a team like Liverpool or even Arsenal are going to drop points this season anyway. I don't envisage both of these two teams dropping that many points between now and the end of the season, and we're only in game week 6. Do you know what I mean? So when they do, you need to be there. So the fact that Arsenal were able to get that late goal, do you know what I mean? From Gabriel, again, another corner. Gabriel, I think he's the highest goal scoring defender since he joined. Yeah. That's it. I thought so. So since his debut in September 2020, he's got 18. You got Alexander-Arnold, Van Dijk, Shaw got 12, Zuma, Keane got 11, Stones, Dunk, Ben Mee got 10. He's got 18 goals. That's ridiculous. And I would love to know, like, I would need to check the stats and stuff of how many since, let's say, in the last couple of seasons. Like that number must have just shot up, after a while, because of obviously the corners and stuff like that. But Arsenal are so deadly from set pieces, specifically corners, but they're deadly from set pieces. They got brilliant set piece takers. Declan Rice, what's the name, Bukayo Saka. They're so good at just putting the ball into whatever the area is. That's all it is. And then obviously these guys have got their own, tactics and whatnot to be able to kind of do that. So yeah, man. Listen, look, ultimately they won the game. On the balance of it, I think they deserved it, if I'm being real. Newcastle, again, like I said, it's a bit of a weird one with them. It really is. Like, I am a little bit like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I really don't. I can't remember where I had them predicted in the Premier League table, but I am looking at them now and I'm like, I know Isak is gone, right? And that's a big player. That he's one of the better strikers around Europe. But even still, like, it just looks like you're missing something a little bit. It really does. Just a little bit. There's just something that you're kind of missing. And whether Voltemade can obviously come in and kind of replace the goals and stuff like that, then fair enough. But yeah, at the moment, I'm just looking at them and I'm like, I'm not really feeling it, if I'm being 100, percent honest. Good morning to you, Mark A, by the way. You can't win a title this early, but you can lose. Yeah, but then it's so funny. Yeah, like I totally agree with this, by the way. But sometimes, and my brain always works in kind of logic. Like, when I hear this, I'm like, but yeah, at the same time, you can win a title. You know what I mean? At this early, it's weird because you're saying you can't win a title this early, but you can lose it. But technically, then you can win a title this early. Do you know what I mean? It's one of them things. And like I said, when you're at the top and you're battling for honors, trust me, you don't want to be. And Liverpool, listen, cuss Liverpool as much as you want in terms of the way that we're playing, but I promise you, Liverpool are not a team that loses that many games. So yeah, I think I already said, like, Liverpool will lose the least amount of games this season. I still don't think that'd be enough to win the league, but I don't think Liverpool will lose more than anybody else. Do you know what I mean? I feel like we'll lose probably like 3 games. Yeah, maybe 3 games this season where I think, yeah, we might pick up a loss kind of thing. Obviously, I didn't really envisage Crystal Palace, but yeah, do you know what I mean? All of a sudden now you got 1 down, 2 to go. Do you know what I mean? And you can't have that many losses in a season. You really can't. Not if you're trying to win, the Premier League. They got 3, we dropped 3. That's like 6 points reversed. Yeah, exactly that goal, man. Exactly that. That Gabriel goal is a massive blow, 100%. I wish Virgil and Konate could head the ball from. Mate, I don't understand. I really don't understand that. Like, how have you got Virgil, Konate, the Ekatikes, the Isak, obviously we're talking about now, the Isaks, the Gakpos, like, Szoboszlai is relatively, obviously, if he's not taking a corner, then he can obviously affect it in some way, shape, or form. Like, Liverpool, in my opinion, I don't feel like we're that good. Obviously, I don't know the stats. I really don't. I'm just basing this really just on what I'm seeing. But when I'm watching Liverpool take corners, it doesn't really look like anything's going on. Like, it really doesn't. Like, it's like, what's our whole thing? And even when we defend corners, I think Arne Slot spoke about this just recently about, you know, defending set pieces. And, you know, I think we can see the 4 goals in the Premier League from set pieces. What with Virgil, Canate, and all these big guys. Yeah, man, you guys really need to sort it out. You really, really need to sort it out. Centre backs playing their part, 100%. Morning to you, Morris. Morning to you, man. Hope you are all good, my friends. As he said, man, run up the lights, man. Run up the lights. Hit the subscribe button if you have not done so. I'm gonna try. I'm trying to do more lives. I said, you know what? I wanted to try and, you know what I mean, just chop out with the people, man. Just chop out with the people, man. See how everybody kind of is. Have these combos. I swear, Virgil and Canate close their eyes when they have the ball. Yeah, it's mad. It's mad. It's mad. Next up, man. Manchester City. Manchester City. Oh, big up Jerry, man. Big up Jerry. I'll send you that link in a second. Give me 2 seconds, people. Where's JJ? There we go, my friend. But yeah, Manchester City, man, 5-1 against Burnley. 5-1 against Burnley, man. This one was just pretty easy. I'll be honest. This one was so simple. It was so easy. Erling Haaland, obviously getting himself, I think, was it 2 goals in the game. You know what I really liked in this match, actually, tell a lie, was Doku. I really, really like Doku, man. I know, yeah, everybody always speaks about Doku, right? And everyone always says, like, oh, okay, yeah. Give me 2 seconds, people. Let's just get Jerry in the building. Let's see how this would work. But yeah, everyone always speaks about Jeremy Doku in terms of like how he is as a player, how he's not really effective, he's not really scoring goals and all this kind of stuff. But sometimes, yeah, I sit there and think to myself, I feel like Jeremy Doku is a player that not many Premier League teams would want to face anyway. I'll be real with you. He doesn't really seem like that type of guy that Premier League teams want to be facing, because he's one of those. Let's change this. There we go. Because he's one of those. He's just one of those kind of players, man. Morning to you, Jerry, bro. How are you?
I'm calm, man. I'm calm. What we saying?
I'm good, man. We saying got now got the trim. Oh yeah, because obviously you had to look fresh and. I told you. You notice it, you bro. Immediately, I noticed a difference from last week to this week here, kind of thing. Straight away, man. How are you doing?
I'm calm, man. I'm calm. I'm just
chilling like a villain. Yeah, man. No, I'm just going through like the Premier League games, obviously talking about Manchester City. Just a word quickly on. I was trying to listen to the space that you and Enz were doing yesterday when I was on the train back.
yeah, I had an emergency call I had to pick up, so I had to just bounce. But I got across what I needed to say. I got across what I needed to say anyway.
Well, just quickly, anyway, obviously, I ain't really chopped up with you in regards to the game, right? But yeah, just kind of thoughts, I guess, quickly on that Liverpool game.
No idea. Too many Chiefs. Do you know what I mean? Too many Chiefs. Too many men want to be the boss. Too many men want to be the guy. A mixture of players that some players want to be really, really direct. Some are following Slot's instructions to a T, from what you said anyway last season, in terms of not forcing the ball forwards all the time, in terms of like Virgin stuff. Fans are getting frustrated at the fact that, you know, certain midfielders are taking too many touches on the ball and it's too slow. But possession football is slow. That's the whole point of it, because you time when you attack. You don't just attack constantly, because you keep giving the ball away, then you've got to try win it back in 7 seconds, and then you get tired, and then teams catch you on the counter. Liverpool, that's what Liverpool did, and Liverpool played with that risk when we did with Klopp. With Slot, it seems like I still don't know what his style of football is. He said it's not too dissimilar to Jurgen Klopp, but one of the main principles of the Gegenpress has been removed in it. So with Slot, so it's just an interesting situation. Yeah, it's just all over the place. I'm going to be honest. Probably it's just, you know, you're not playing like Bert's. I saw a stat yesterday when I was watching the Everton game, and in the last 2 seasons per 90, he averages north of 86 touches per 90.
Who's that?
Verts.
Verts. Okay, okay.
Guess how much he's averaging this season with Liverpool?
I'm gonna say 50 as a guess.
Yeah, low 50s, low 50s.
Low 50s. That's mad.
Yeah, but he's running more. So like all of this stuff, he's just not doing what he did at the other club. We spoke about square pegs, round holes. He's being asked to do a job that he hasn't done before. We're not really playing to his strengths. We're not giving him the ball enough because you've got a certain right winger that's used to having the ball, but he's not getting the same touches he did last season. So right now, who are we playing through? Are we playing through the £160 million signing, which we should be playing through, to be fair, because that's the type of player he is? Are we playing through Salah? Which, again, last season, he got amazing numbers, but we're doing neither. So both are starving on the ball. We are pumping along, we're going direct, we're losing the ball. We're all out of shape. I'm seeing Kirkes, who, when we spoke about a fullback, we said, yeah, he's just like a Robertson. But we're asking this supposed Robertson, who I don't even think he's on that level. I think he's actually pants, right, on the ball. I think he's crap, right? But he's playing in midfield. I've seen him in a screenshot and he's in the number 10 position with McAllister at left back. I'm like, well, I'm going for this, right? The only one that's really doing his job is a Ekitike. But it's just because he's got the arrogance to be like, you know what, give me the ball, I'm going to do my thing. The rest of these players are showing no arrogance about themselves. Verts ain't showing it. When we spoke about it before, he's not really coming out and showing us that, yeah, he thinks he's the Don Dada. Salah's trying to do that, but he's got to the point now where he's taking free kicks off Soboslai because he thinks he's going to wrap it into the top corner, when I've never seen him do that in his career, let alone Liverpool, right? So it begs the question. I'm like, what the hell is going on? What the hell is going on? Because Liverpool have won games due to individual ability, individual quality, a good free kick, a bit of magic from Ekitike, an amazing pass. All of a sudden, the team just clicks because you've got good players and you score a goal.
This is what Jerry was talking about, by the way.
Come on, man.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, but and this is what it is. And other teams that are just set up in a decent structure, that are recognizing, and again, this is really, really smart. If you go back to that image that you showed, yeah, just to show what teams are starting to do against Liverpool, right? So what Liverpool have tried to do, right, is they went, and instead of playing Gakpo, right, and having Gakpo defend Munoz, because they defend with a 5, right, and Munoz is by himself, what they decided to do is play a box midfield to try and keep the ball and narrow up, meaning that Munoz has to tuck in, which is taking away their width. However, what that did, though, is their 2 number 10s in Pino and Yeremy Pino and Sarr, they just made runs. And all they did is they just ran inside the fullbacks, because the fullbacks are really, really high. There was a bit when McAllister's proper wide, not in this shot, but it's similar. When McAllister's quite central, but he was in the left back position. Virgil, 2 centre backs, and then he had Bradley that was wide. The two number 10s just made, as soon as they won the ball, they just made straight runs down the side of Virgil and Konate, leaving a massive gap in the middle where Mateta is just there. And and the fullbacks weren't going to catch him, because once they go, they go. Because look at the positions they're in already. They're in behind the fullbacks, right? In terms of who's supposed to be there, with McAllister and Bradley. And this is what just happened. So now the situation is, not only were we getting caught out with Munoz, we tried to negate it, but teams are still finding a way to get out our back line. Because A, we can't keep the ball. We can't control it because we're too direct. And B, we're tactically not set up in a way to go and deal with certain situations, because we want to be very, very advanced. So right now, we're kind of all over the place. Marquez, what is Kirkes doing there? I don't know. I'll slot. Because the thing is, if that was Ait Nouri, I'd hear it. If that was Heaney, I'd hear it. If that was Trent, guess what? I'd hear it. We don't have Trent anymore. You know what? Even if it was Frimpong, I'd hear it. I'd hear it. Based on the goals and assists he got last season, I'd hear it. I mean, a couple seasons ago, I'd hear it. This, to me,
nah, it's anyway. Don't worry. I'm gonna chop that up anyway. Maybe sometime this week anyway. I keep forgetting that Liverpool actually playing today. I keep forgetting it's Champions League. So yeah, we'll chop that out, because it's very, and I listen to the manager as well when he does his press conferences and stuff. So I like hearing, how does he see things? Obviously, he might not be telling the full truth, but I do like hearing, do you know what I mean, what he's saying. But just a word on Crystal Palace, man. word on Crystal Palace. Obviously, they're the only unbeaten team in the Premier League. They've had an insane, I think, yeah, as I said, 18 games.
8 games. Yeah.
This is kind of the results that they've kind of picked up. Do you know what I mean? Through this time, good results, man. Good results. FA Cup won that. Do you know what I mean? Doing good. Doing good. Beat Aston Villa twice. Obviously beating Liverpool. Drew to Arsenal.
I mean, look, it's a good unbeaten run. However, there has to be a bit of context. If Liverpool went on this run, we wouldn't be happy. 8 draws.
Yeah, I hear it.
We wouldn't. We'd be like, bruv, we've got 8 draws, bro. Like we would. So there is context to it because it's Crystal Palace, because they've lost Eze, because they've lost this player, because they've released because they might have lost Gahey. We're looking, and obviously they're in the back of winning the Carabao Cup and Community Shield. It's looking all positive. But one thing that they're able to go and do at this moment in time is see out games to not lose. And the same thing we were going and praising, Liverpool for in terms of they're able to get a result. Palace have been able to do that within their own right, and they've actually done it for 18 games. So kudos to them, kudos to Glasner, kudos to everyone being on the same page. And this is where I talk about, there's not one style of football, right? It's football subjective. If you win football, you win. And ultimately, if everyone's on the same page, any system can be made to work. You could sit in and be on a counter-attack. You could be a bit more in possession. You could do whatever, and it works. We even saw it with Jurgen Klopp. When it worked, and it was crazy, right? When it didn't work and people were on the same page or people couldn't do what was being asked, that's when the difficulty arose. Palace right now, everyone's on the same wavelength. Everyone's on the same page. The back three know what they're doing. The fullbacks, the wing backs know what they're doing. The keeper knows what he's doing. The 2 midfielders know what they're doing. The striker knows what he's doing. They don't mind going a bit direct. And guess what? It is what it is. And their players are able to go and thrive. Everyone understands their roles. And look, they're going to be a very good team. And I'm interested to see how far they do in Europe. To be fair, I think that's the main kind of thing I'm looking at them. If they can, go on. If they won a European trophy, Jesus, bro. Like, do you know what I mean? Like the turnaround that Glasner would have done in a couple of seasons, boy, rivals some of the best.
I was just about to say, like, you're putting him in. I'll be honest. Depending on what Liverpool were to do this season, like if say for Liverpool were to like win every trophy, as an example, I'll be like, okay, yeah, I probably put Arne Slot up there as like probably a crazy turnaround in 2 years' time. But Glasner with Crystal Palace, bearing in mind they just lost probably their best attacking player in Eze in the summer, signed Yeremy Pino like it was just okay, yeah, we're just gonna get him in, plug and play. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And
because it's a system, bro. It's as simple as that. It's a system. It's I always spoke about, when people used to go and say, like Liverpool, if they lose this player, if Salah goes, if we're finished. And no, if you replace them and you place them like for like in terms of, yeah, you might not get the same individual type of quality, but if you can just go and provide the same, I guess, if he's the same profile of player, you're still going to be able to go and have a decent run. Now, I'm not saying you're going to win everything there is to win, because obviously in fine detail, the small margins in victory, but you're still going to be able to play to a high level, because all you are doing, you're just replacing one player for another. And if you can go and do that really well, Liverpool have done for so long, where this player left, you thought, oh no, what's going to happen? Bro, you just brought in Szoboszlai. Like, literally, you brought in Szoboszlai to do the Henderson role. If you had the Fabinho at the time, we would have been fine. We'd have been fine, and that's what it is, man. So, the Palace, excellent. I think the recruitment's excellent. I think Pino's looking like a baller. I think Sarr's looking, obviously, a player. Mateta, again, someone that people weren't rating at a time. Glasner been able to turn him around. The signings of Richards and Lacroix. I think Richard is so underrated.
He's wildly underrated, bro. It's mad.
Wildly underrated. I think he's really, really good. Black, proper solid. And, a fullback that I spoke about from last season, Munoz.
I'll give you guys an insight. Yeah. Obviously during the international break, I've got like I was doing like my top 10s in every position. Munoz is in my top 10 for right backs, like for full backs. Like, I mean, both left and right backs in Europe, I look at Munoz as, nah, you're a top 10 fullback. I'm not going to
By
tell you
far.
where, but he has to be. But like,
Yeah,
you have to.
but yeah, he's just in there. He just offers so much. And then you've got a Tyreek Mitchell who's just just a steady Eddie, bro. He's just a steady Eddie. He's not great. He's not going to do this, but a steady Eddie. And within a system when everything's working and you can just do the basics, if we talk about just doing the basics, that's the result, isn't it? That's the result.
No, it's true. Before we move on to the Arsenal, Jerry, why do you look like in a movie?
Well, I just need a cat like this, just a cat like that. Like,
yeah, bro. Real talk. Yeah,
swinging on the chair like that.
On Arsenal and Newcastle, man. Like I said, just before you jumped in, Gary Neville said it on commentary, and when he said, I said big. I said at the exact same time he said big. When Gabriel scored that goal last minute for them to obviously win the game after being 1-0 down, yeah, big moment. Claw the points back. Now they're 2 points behind Liverpool in the league. Yeah, man. How did you kind of see this game in itself? I don't know if you watched it or saw the highlights or anything.
This is the game I watched. I didn't watch the Liverpool game.
Okay.
But this is the game I watched. First of all, I'm going to say Newcastle are going to do well this season.
Do you think so?
Newcastle will do well. Midfield, I'm telling you, Thiaw is a play. Like you're forgetting, they have gone and played. Right, I'm pretty sure they played Liverpool. They played Arsenal. Who else have they played? I want to say United. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm wrong. But they've played two of the favourites in Liverpool and Arsenal, and both of those teams got taken to the wire.
Yeah, true.
Right?
True.
They have dealt with the fact that Isak has left and the whole thing that's going in the background. Thiaw looks a mad player. Burn is quality. Botman, Thiaw's a problem. And Voltamada, he's going to get goals because people are not deep in. Not only is this brother a proper tool, his ability to, to hold up the ball, his link up, his dropping of the play, again, football's always about moments. Arsenal score a last minute goal. And look, they were the better team. Like they stuck it on Newcastle, but Newcastle knew what was going to come. Like they did this what they went for, So it's one of them ones where I think, look, big result, big result. I was on my knees when I saw Arsenal score because I was like, you're just like, yeah, is this when it starts? Because that results like that can give you belief in it. Results like that can give you belief because they, in other games, they haven't been able to claw it back and people have questioned, their resolve and their mentality. This is an example of their mentality, This is an example of their ability to win a game. Ironically, right, it's a set piece, right? So it's like, it's so funny, isn't it? If they didn't win that game, Gary Neville would still be saying, they rely on set pieces. But as long as you score, no one cares that you get the goal. And I think that's the only caveat I'd have to Arsenal is that look amazing, but they scored with a set piece. They scored with a set piece. They didn't open the team up. They just couldn't do it.
To be fair, Pope did make some really good saves.
No,
I remember there was a ball over the top from Zubimendi.
No. And don't get twisted. You're going to have to in it against again when you're holding on to leads like that. You're gonna have to It's like Donnarumma against City when he pulled off mad saves. That you're gonna have to do that. You're gonna have to suffer. Courtois against Liverpool, where in Champions League final, your keeper is gonna have to go and come up trumps. But Pope had an excellent game, but it still didn't. They just didn't score though. They needed that set piece, and obviously that's what they were looking for. So I think that's the only caveat you'd look at. And I'd want to obviously look. We still need to see. Look, people were saying this about Liverpool, and a couple of games ago, everyone was like, "That's big." When Szoboszlai slapped that free kick, that was big. That was big. Lo and behold, a couple of games later, we lose to Palace, and people are losing their mind. So look, if they lose their next game against whoever it is or drop points, then we're now having the same question. But for what that game was, it was big for them because they capitalize on Liverpool dropping points, and that's the most that they can do. That's the only thing that they can do, because if the season ended today, Liverpool end up being champions, but the most they could have done is cool, we lost to Liverpool, but we made sure that we capitalize on the fact that you drop points, and that's what they did. So yeah, big up to them, man. big up to them.
I totally agree, and it's funny because they play their next game before Liverpool do. So if they win their next game, they will go top, which then obviously puts pressure on Liverpool, who've got Chelsea away. You know what I mean? Like these, as you said, swings and roundabouts. These things can happen. All of a sudden now, belief. And now Arsenal win their game. I don't know who the hell they're playing. They win their next match. Liverpool go into that game against Chelsea. All of a sudden, okay, we need like now you've gone from a position of we need to win, obviously, regardless, because you go into every football match trying to win. But now we really need to win because we don't want to now be playing catch up. And I said this before about even at this early stage of the season, when top teams in every league, whether it's Barca, Real Madrid, Bayern, Liverpool, Manchester City, Arsenal, when you're battling for the title, bro, you don't want to be giving the points away at any time. Anytime. Like, it doesn't matter if it's third game week or the 23rd game week. Like, you don't want to be playing catch up because remember, you're not guaranteed what's going to happen next. Arsenal last season, when Liverpool dropped points, they didn't capitalize. But that was later on in the season. Had they capitalized, yeah, Liverpool don't win. If they just capitalized how I thought they were going to, Liverpool don't win the league last season, in my personal opinion, because Arsenal would have had enough points to be able to catch. Remember, we were dropping points at like a period, and then Arsenal just weren't winning games. So then you're like, well, now the league's it's done because now remember we're running out of games. Every game you play, you're running out of a game to try and catch up. So it's just one of those things, man. Again, bless up to everybody in the building. Arsenal have West Ham at home. Well, I mean, yeah, new manager, Nuno. We'll talk about that in.
That's the only saving grace is that Nuno will have an extra. I don't know if you saw them against Everton yesterday.
I saw the highlights. I didn't even see saw the highlights. How was it in the game? Oh, no, we'll get to that game. We'll get to that game.
Yeah.
We'll get to that game. 5-1. This is where we landed before the gaffer came in. City. I mean, someone said it here. I don't know if I've started. There we go. I'll put this question for you, right? City won 5-1 against Burnley. Goal ratio. Would love for you to explain how City put 5 past them and we could only score 1, which was a penalty, in the last second of the game. Jared, please.
All right, context. Obviously, they scored their 2 goals in a 90-plus minute, and they scored an own goal.
True.
So 2 goals, right? Really, like in regular time, I'd say. But City, unlike Liverpool, have the ability to keep it and keep it and keep it and grind out teams and move it left and move it right and isolate Doku 1v1, then give it back, then go to the other side, then isolate Bernardo Silva 1v1 or Foden, whoever's on that side, or Savinho, then come back. And guess who's just lurking in the box, just waiting and biding their time, and all of a sudden it goes into riders, they speed it up, boom, boom, goal, shot, Haaland. And unfortunately, that is something that Liverpool don't want to do because to slots, I'm just trying to remember what he said, to slots, is I'm pretty sure what he said. He said Liverpool aren't in the possession game, they're in the scoring goals game. Yeah, I mean, every team is in the scoring goals game, but when you can't keep the ball, then you're less likely to score a goal. And that's what City are able to do. And defensively, of course, they're still not as good as they have been. I think they can still get got at, and by conceding. But boy, it's the system. It's the system that works. And when you go and have Doku just wide 1v1, and I speak about this in terms of possession football, it's why I always propped up Diaz. It's why I told man that this is why you need these players, because when you're playing possession ball, you need players that can drag 2-3 man to them, because what happens? They find the spare man, and then you can go and you can speed up the play. You can't go and do that if you're just moving it 1 and 2 touch quickly. That goes and helps you in transition. But if a team's low, you're more likely to lose the ball because there's not enough space, because the team becomes compact. There's less space to go and play around. So as soon as you start doing these intricate passes and trying to punch it in and stuff, you lose it because the forward can't control it, or the touch is bad, or you misplace the pass and you get caught on the counter, because now your wing backs are really high, like Liverpool. Your forwards are really high. Hence why City can beat them 5-1 and Liverpool struggle, because Liverpool are a bit more tentative when it comes into those situations, because some players want to be direct, some players want to keep it. And yeah, that's why.
No, I agree, man. Just on obviously we know Haaland's Haaland, so there's not really much to really add with that guy. But on Doku, because you spoke about him there, and obviously you spoke about Luis Diaz as well, and I know Diaz is your guy, and I'll be honest, I really wish
I
we had
told you.
just kept him
I, t- I
over
told you.
Gakpo
I
because
told man last year. Man were telling me, nah, nah, nah. I was
no,
telling
no,
you,
no,
man.
no. Okay, so I need to. I said both of them cannot stay. They both can't stay. One has to go. I was I preferred, sorry, Gakpo going and Diaz staying. Even if you sign someone else, even if you left it like this and you said I will just have Diaz and Rio, right? I'd have said, okay, cool, whatever. If that's what he was gonna do, or you're gonna bring someone, I don't really care. But both of them could not stay. I was not trying to see both of them next season. But I prefer to watch Diaz 10 million times than I would prefer to watch a Gakpo kind of thing. I get everybody, some people like Gakpo because of his efficiency, but he's so one dimensional. Yeah. Anyways, that's Liverpool. In regards to Doku, right? Do you rate him first and foremost?
I've always rated him.
Okay, cool. All right, so
I've
we can
always
go.
rated him. When man were telling me about Doku, remember in the chat, Ish was like, nah. Huh?
Yeah, Ish. I don't know, man. You're not
Remember Ish was saying,
feeling.
nah, Doku. He was like, nah, nah, not this. Bro, Doku. Listen, my cousin CJ, yeah. I'm gonna see if I can send you a clip of it, yeah.
Hmm.
But he's like when I mean like Doku, it's like exactly the same. And he's Ghanaian, which is hilarious, yeah. But when I mean that step, unless you face that step, and I faced it, you can't that that
Yeah.
step bang gone. It's over. And people don't deep, right? That you can be effective, right, without necessarily contributing bare goals and assists. Now, Doku was always for me due to get goals and assists because he's playing with Haaland. And City weren't doing well last year. So of course, if the whole team's not doing well, you might not always going to go and do well. It doesn't always work like that. Sometimes you need, do you know what I mean, some of its parts to do well for a player to come in and also show what he can do.
Mm-hmm.
But Doku's ability to beat his man 1v1, you cannot replace that. You can't get that. So now when he's getting the ball, you cannot, he's a Premier League player. You cannot risk just leaving him 1v1 against his fullback. It means the centre back or the midfielder's got to come across, which means there's a spare man every single time. The same thing with Sterling, but Sterling just used his pace a bit more. It was you can't just leave Sterling 1v1 because Sterling will go tap it past you and it's gone and it's over. So you need Sane, the same thing. When all they've done is got a player now, they've got a player now that can beat his man 1v1 so comfortably, so effectively every single time, whether he's getting it back to goal and he does that reverse spin, whether he's
Oh
facing
yeah.
you up. Do you know what I mean? That like it doesn't matter. Now he's got the freedom to cut inside if they're in transition, like the out to in run, Pep Linders, using that Mane run and working with Mane, understanding what got Mane moving. Now it's like, yeah, we can't leave him 1v1. So your centre backs either got to get a cover, which means that the whole defense have got to cover, which means the spare man's out on the other side, or the midfielder covers, which a lot of the time happens, and it means that he can pop it off into a Reinders, or Reinders can make a forward run, which allows then Rodri to get it in that space, and then Reinders is on the last man, and it just, or like Gundogan used to be on the last man, and it just causes problems, and that is what Doku is. Now, of course, everyone wants to go and have goals and assists, and if he's in positions to go and score, you want goals and assists. But this idea that he was some crap player and that he's rubbish and that he's all this and he's all that, this is when I hear stuff like this. I'm like, yeah, you man don't play football. You man just
I've never
don't.
played
Yeah,
football.
you just never played against someone because you don't understand the fact that you could play against a player and he might not have score assists, but he's ran you ragged so much that he's affected your game, and that's what Doku will do. If you just try to Marshall Doku, right, that's fine, but he's going to run you ragged so often, you're going to forget about Haaland on the shoulder. And that's what happened with United. They tried to deal with Doku. Doku couldn't get anywhere near the box, but he just finds Haaland. Haaland's making that run there, goal. Now what? If you just focus on Haaland and double up with two man against Haaland, you're leaving Doku 1v1. Now, Doku 1v1 against any player in the league is getting ripped. Any player, including Verge.
Facts. No, I agree both Mark and Jerry here, man. Like for me, but as Jerry said, I just think he's the one winger. I can't think of every winger in Europe, right? So obviously, if I'm just thinking of like the top ones, in terms of I don't want to play against you, he's probably like a top 3 player. Like if I had to choose who to play against in, say, I don't know, let's say Vinicius Junior and Doku, I think Vinicius Junior is the better all-round player, obviously because of who he is and what he's done. But I would probably prefer, if I had the pace anyway, I reckon I could probably deal with that in a thing. You see, with Doku though, his thing is different. It's just relentless. It is pure relent. It is all they will give the ball to this guy. City might be playing shit in the game. Nothing's really working. Haaland can't get into the game, etc. They give the ball to Doku
2 6,
every.
yeah.
Yeah, no, no. They give the ball to Doku every single time, and it is problematic. It's so problematic. Like, you just think to yourself, bro, can I just get a chance to breathe? Do you know what I mean? Because as Jerry said, the quick movements, the quick, and then you're gone, and bro, it's long. It's so long, man. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I'm taking, yeah, no. I'm taking Max, come on. Yamal, Elise, come on. I'd rather, like, those are better players. Kvaratskhelia, Elise, Yamal, Yildiz, Due, Vinny. They're all better players. I definitely don't disagree. I think they're just, everything they do, they're just better. What I'm saying is the unpredictability of Doku. Eesh, yeah. That's torment. These guys will do things. They can torment you, of course, because they're obviously world-class players, but they do it in a bit of a different way. Like, Elise is not going to do what Doku's doing. Elise don't play like that. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, he might every now and again, but it's more about his effectiveness. And I think that is always going to be, I guess, how people perceive like players who are world-class or players who are at like the top of the level and stuff like that. You see the effectiveness of certain players, the decision making. Their decision making, Kvaratskhelia, Elise, Yamal, Yildiz, Due, Vinny, their decision making is at elite levels. Doku's isn't always, as we've seen, in terms of doesn't always, find the right pass. Doesn't like against who did Man City play the other day, and I saw Doku was against Arsenal, and he ran from one side of the pitch just with the ball to the other side of the pitch. But there was a moment I felt like he could have released it. And if he had released it, because everyone had gone with him, he could have just popped it there and then they could have done whatever they were going to do after that. At times, I do question the decision making. But in terms of just being a threat, I don't want to play against Doku. Like I said, I'd probably rather play against these other guys because they slow it down a bit. Did you get what I'm trying to say? Like they can do some different stuff. Like their decision making is really good. So yeah, but in terms of players, I'd rather have all of these guys. In terms of players, you have to play fullback to really understand. Yeah, it's long. It's long. I played left back. It's long, man. It's long. Doku's good, but you never seen cut inside. But his overall plays. Yeah. I wouldn't even disagree with that. To be fair, I feel like he does cut inside at times. Maybe not as much, to be fair, but he does cut inside. I just think that again, like I said, it is more about it's just the decision making at times. But in context, when I do watch Doku, there are times when I'm like, bro, he's put the ball in the box. Like, I don't know what else he's supposed to do in this situation. Like, Haaland, where are you? Or whoever's supposed to be in the box at the time, where are you? There are times, there are not all the time, but there are times I'm like, bro, that's a brilliant ball. If Haaland was just on his toes a little bit, he gets that. Do you get what I'm saying? But yeah, man, it's one of those. Doku would be a great, yeah, he would be strong runner, boy, absolutely strong runner. We'll just move on until JJ is back. Chelsea versus Brighton. Yeah, Chelsea are I heard some Chelsea fans talk about obviously the Club World Cup, right? And obviously with that happening during the summer, they won it, did really well to win it, beating PSG. Some of the players obviously look a little bit tired, look a little bit jaded. Is it affecting them? Don't know. I mean, they've got about 100 players, so I would have thought you'd be able to kind of rotate. We saw the game against Manchester United where they obviously lost in the previous match week. They lost obviously Bayern. They now lost to bloody Brighton. Yeah, Chelsea are not really in the greatest of moments. I'll be honest with you, really not in the greatest of moments. The fact that they were winning and then to kind of let the lead slip in the way that they did, obviously Chalobah getting himself sent off, I know, but even still, I mean, in my opinion, I feel like it was a poor performance from Chelsea. And I don't know what it is. Again, it could be the Club World Cup. It might just be that. Maybe the players are tired, whatever. I don't really know. And you know me, I hate excuses. I hate it. It pisses me off. I don't want to hear excuses. Just go and do what it's supposed to do. So that's the kind of energy I'm going to go with Chelsea. As much as I like them, yeah, right now you're not looking the kind of fluid football that I thought I was going to see now, where you brought in a couple of players, you know, with the likes of obviously João Pedro and stuff like that. Esteval obviously coming in, Santos as well. I think is a decent player, but obviously his mistake, you know, leading I think to one of the goals. Yeah, I'm just really not feeding the way that Chelsea are playing. And I said this about Brighton the other day. Brighton are so weird. They can win a game like this 3-1 away at Stamford Bridge. Tough place to go. Tough place to go. They go there, win 3-1. And you just sit there and think, all right, but then they'll probably lose next week 5-0. And you're just like, Brighton, this is what I'm talking about, is your consistency is just so all over the gap. But in regards to this game specifically, Brighton, I also don't think Brighton played exceptionally well in this game. I didn't watch it and think, oh my God, Brighton are playing like prime Barcelona. Like, you know, it didn't feel like that. It felt like it was just two kind of even teams, but Chelsea kept making mistakes. And unfortunately, in the Premier League, as we know, bro, you'll get punished. You'll get absolutely punished in this league. Did you see Maresca's comments on style of play to allow more freedom? No, I didn't. But if he's saying that, I mean, it'll be good, mate. I mean, he is given free. Like I said, players like Esteval, when I watch him play, brother, he looks like he's been given freedom. And he looks good, by the way. He looks real good. You can tell that if he's just nurtured properly, yeah, he'll go on to do, you know, some amazing things. It's just, yeah, and big up double SB, man. Like, Chelsea's defense cost them the game. They weren't that bad, but their defense is just, oof, Jesus Christ. So they got in there tossing Chalabar. I can't remember who the other player was at the back there, but it just doesn't look like a defense that breeds confidence. I'll tell you that much. Not when I watch Chelsea, I don't look at them and think, you know, something like I look at Arsenal and think, yeah, this back line is the best back line. Like, you're just not getting past these guys. But I don't look at Chelsea and think the same thing. Do you get what I'm saying? I really don't. And that's what they need to sort out, and they should have sorted out the goalkeeper situation. I don't care what Sanchez does this season. There's no way that he just turns it around and all of a sudden becomes this top class. No, you need to be getting in a fantastic goalkeeper, because having that base in the team is so vitally important. As we saw, Crystal Palace versus Liverpool. I know Liverpool lost the game, fair enough, but Jesus Christ. Had Alisson not been in goal, yeah, that would have been, we're talking 7-2 against Villa. You know what I'm saying? They would have just been popping goals like there's no tomorrow. We saw him against PSG. Now, obviously, you can't, obviously, Alisson's number one, so you can't go out there and sign number one, but you can go out there and sign better keepers than Sanchez. Has to be. Maresca, it's not true. If the freedom for you is that you can move everywhere, that is not freedom. That is chaos. If the freedom for you is that you can move everywhere, that is not freedom. That is chaos. He seems like a person who really likes his structure. He does seem like someone like that. Like, it seems like he will only allow Cole Palmer to really deviate outside of that structure. Do you get what I'm saying? So, yeah, listen, man. Yeah, I thought I've seen some people obviously talking about Maresca potentially, you know, I won't say job on the line, but they're apparently looking at it. That fans are not really too happy, which is weird because you just won the Club World Cup. And again, with Chelsea, it's weird. We look at the money, and obviously we equate, and I do it as well sometimes. We look at the money and you think, with that amount of money spent, you should be doing this X, Y, and Z. But, you know, like, I look at it and think, yeah, if you're talking about just the money, how much they've just spent, then fair enough. But yeah, I don't look at the players and think that, like some of the players that they've signed, they haven't really gone out and got like the best in class, like, or what people would deem to be one of the best in class. Like, they didn't sign Isak. Yes, he's not the best striker in the world, but he's still one of the top strikers in the world. You got João Pedro and the Lap, but you spent a pretty penny on them. I'm like, again, two decent players, but the Lap, João Pedro, like, do you know what I mean? Like, you spent all that money and that's what you came out with. Do you get what I'm saying? It's just weird with them. Like, I really don't understand. They went into the season with Tosin, Chalobah, Sanchez as the keeper. Centre backs aren't bad, but they're not league. Oh no, they're definitely not league winning. No way. Like, it would be shocking if Chelsea were to win the Premier League with that back line. It's one of the worst back lines I've ever seen. Like Leicester City's title-winning team, way better back line, way better. I don't care if you add Reece James, Malo Gusto, add whoever you want. Your back line looks crap, in my personal opinion. The rest of the team, I like it. I like Caicedo. I do kind of like Enzo. Cole Palmer, absolute bad boy. You know what I'm saying? And again, Esteval, Santos. I like these kind of players. But your back line, even if Colwell didn't get injured, I don't know how much difference that would have made to your team. It still would have been kind of the same. The benefit Chelsea have is the academy. Yeah, the academy always produces. It's not even the academy; they'll just spend money. Do you get what I mean? They'll just really, really spend money. Reece James, he's a bad boy, but yeah, I've watched his last couple of games. Not really felt like he's played that well. In this game, I didn't really feel like, from the highlights that I saw, didn't really look like he was really on it. But again, we'll have to wait and see. Moving on now to Brentford versus Manchester United. Man United are fucking arse, man. Sorry for swearing so early in the morning, but like, yeah, I think they're. Listen, I've tried, and big up to my boy, because I'm always. He supports Man United, yeah, and he wants Amarim out, and I'm always saying, nah, man, like maybe you can try and, you know what I mean, do something. And but yeah, I feel like this experiment is now done. I think you need to kind of nip it in the bud. Big up to Brentford, by the way, who I thought Jordan Henderson. I don't know, boy. This remontada that you got kind of going on is moving mad, because you're playing brilliant. I'll be honest with you. You are playing brilliant in that Brentford midfield, especially against these bigger teams. Yeah, you've really shown your quality, like, well, the quality that you have, shall I say, kind of thing. So big up to, and was it Yarmin I'm probably butchering the name, but he looks good too. He looks really good. Big up to Thiago. Obviously got himself 2 goals in this game. But I'll be honest, and I'm going to try and get the graphic, because I want to do a video speaking about Manchester United, right? Man United, yeah, constantly keep changing not even tactics, because they keep the same system, right? But they keep changing personnel in the team. Mason Mount playing left wing back, Dorgu sometimes. Ahmad either as a right wing back or he's the number 10 behind the striker. Then you've got like Embuemo. Is he playing as the wing back, or is he one of the number 10s and then he drifts out wide? But then when he drifts out wide, no one's doing an underlapping run. So they've just got this massive hole, who, by the way, Casemiro and Fernandez cannot get there. One, because Casemiro ain't got the legs, but also they just don't even have the kind of discipline in order to do that. The back line constantly changing from United. If it's not Maguire this week, it's that Heaven brother, it's Lenny Euro, it's the Lit, obviously is a mainstay in the team. Mazarawi, sometimes he's played, bro. It is so much changes with Manchester United that forget the system for a minute, because everyone keeps saying he should change the system. I don't believe that. I feel like you can play your system if you want to play your system. We've seen Glasner do it. I saw Conte come and win the Premier League doing it. We've seen Chelsea do it.
That's the biggest one. That's the worrying thing. Glasner's doing it.
Exactly.
Like Sarr and Pino should be doing the same thing that Mount and Buemo are doing.
Exactly.
And if you were to look at it for man, most people would be like, you know what? I'd rather have Buemo than Sarr. I'd rather have Cunha than Mateta. I'd rather have this one than that. Or even Cunha can do the thing. I'd rather have Cunha than Pino. Then Sesko, Mateta is what it is. But that you should be able to go and do it. The fact that they're not able to do it, Amarim struggling to communicate, bro.
Okay, that's what I was gonna like. How do you look at this whole man? Like, do you look at it as
it's an Amarim thing? It's an Amarim thing because no one's, like, why? So why is Glasner able to do it and United aren't? Is it because United? Is it because United have the worst players? Is that what we're saying?
No.
But last season we weren't saying this. Like, do you know what I mean? Last season it was Cunha this and Wemo that and Sesko even this. Do you know what I mean? Arteta wanted Sesko, so it can't be the players. It's the instructions. It's the focus on shape. Or are you trying to tell me that these players can't do it, or maybe they're not on the same wavelength? I don't know what it is. But right now, because look, we're talking about United's midfield, and there's all this talk about they ain't got a midfield, Bruv, they're playing Wharton and Kamada. Kamada's a number 10. At Frankfurt, he was a number 10. He's playing deep in the midfield. That's what Bruno Fernandes is doing. So, I don't understand. Bruv, they've got De Ligt and Euro and Shaw at the back. Richards and Lacroix. My man from TikTok a couple of years ago during lockdown. Man, what are we doing there, bruv? De Ligt was captaining an Ajax team. Like, Jay, when you break it down, you're like, yeah, this isn't making sense. Now, the only areas that you can really look at and you're like, you know what, maybe they struggle there is the wing backs.
Who have they got? Dorgu and Mazraoui. Dorgu and Mazraoui, I think.
If you wanted to go that way, but then they've got Dallo. Like, I just don't understand. It's like because you're funny. Man are cooking Ugarte, yeah, and saying Ugarte can't play in this system. I swear he was. I'm pretty sure he played for Sporting under Amorim, hence why he got the move.
He must have. How long's Amorim been? He must have. It must have been under
He
Amorim.
played. He went to PSG on the back of his performances under Amorim, playing in that damn same system. So how can't he play it now? Why can't he play it now? That's like now. Do equivalent is G. That's like Munoz going to United and Munoz looking like he's never played there before.
But that's what I was going to ask.
He can do it.
But that's what I was going to ask you when I asked you about like who do you think? Yeah, like you said it's the manager, but we've seen this before. Like remember, United have been shit for time. Like before Amorim. The reason why Amorim even came in, Ten Hag. Before Ten Hag, your Ollies, your Van Gaals, your Mourinho. Pro, at what point? Like, yeah, at what point are we just blaming the club?
It is the club. Look, it's the club, right? On the deeper level, it's the club. Like they need to be ripped up and everything is. You see when you go to your yard and you're like, yeah, like there's a wooden floor and you take the wooden flooring off and there's some old carpet there and you're like, bro, like why didn't the builder remove the carpet? You got to rip everything off. You got to rip that underlay off. You got to sand everything down. You got to start again. That's what needs to happen at United. They need to go in there, and I said it to man. A Southgate needs to go in there, or even like a Sean Dyche or like a Allardyce, and he's got to just change the culture. He's got to go in there and be like, you know what? Yeah, this is what we're doing. What we're gonna do, we are doing X. This is how we're gonna operate. We are ensuring that this is how we're moving now. We are playing basic football. The young kids are washing man's boots. If you don't like it, you can leave the academy. You know, like just everything's got to change to the point where it's like, I can't even recognize this club anymore. It's completely different. You might have to go down the route of copying, a couple Brexit players, couple players where you're like, why did we? Like, it might have to be that some man are going to just fight for the badge. Maybe you go and get. You should have went and got a Delap. You should have maybe went and got like a Dewsbury Hall. Should have maybe went and got like a Tarkovsky, like that, and just to really make it solid, and then and you find the right personnel as opposed to just getting the best players. Because right now, bro, that Tudor Obi he's crap as well. Like he's not crap, but like he's not gonna make it at United.
No.
He's never gonna play. Like he's not like this is it. Like this is it. He's not even Ryan Brewster level at academy level. This is it.
That's mad. Ryan Brewster was a bad boy in academy, boy. Nah, you need to go back to basics, but I don't know.
Listen, this is what I said. I don't know, because man, I'll speak to someone and they're saying that I was on stream and they're like, yeah, Ollie was shit. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was shit. Was it? Was it really shit, or did people just feel United should be at a different place because they're United?
I think
because they're United.
He played the best football that they've had. I feel like he's played the best.
Yeah, football. and it was the 4-4-2 thing or 4-5-1. Ronaldo there setting it into runners in behind Lingard. Sometimes that's what you need.
Remember, this
and
is
you
when
might
they
have to just accept. Yeah,
this is when they had Cavani, like pro. Like this is when they were. Do you know what I mean? Like I remember they were like second half FC because every second half they would be losing and they come back and win. But the football they were playing, Rashford making runs off of Cavani. Yeah. Now that football seemed like it was decent. Obviously, looking back on it, it's more hindsight. Cunha, Sesko, and Buemo is a good. Yeah, it is. That's what I'm saying. That's what Jerry's saying as well. Is that you look at the players for player, and you're like, yeah, they're better players. Just why not? Jerry, man, just a word on Brentford though, man. Jordan Henderson. How have you kind of seen him? Like, I mean, I think he's been good. I'll be real. I think he's been good this season.
He's been good, and do you know why he's been good? Because man didn't realize that this brother was a quality midfielder. The problem that people had, right, is You compared him A to Steven Gerrard, right? And B, it was the fact that Klopp needed man to run. So if he couldn't run anymore in the way you wanted to, he's gonna look out of place. You know, we're going to talk about making a system to suit the players that you got. Right now at Brentford, it suits him because they're able to sit in. It means the team is compact from deep. And what you are seeing is his ability to go and dictate a game, to get touches, and then bang, and then be able to go and switch it. This is a brother that's captained at the highest level. You don't do that for so long if you're crap. Like you can't, like you know, like you can't be captain for 10 plus years at Liverpool and be crap. Like you'll get found out real quick. Like real quick. You know, man start being like, no. Well, why is he captain? That's a year thing. You know, when the manager comes in and then he changes his mind. Like Maguire, that was a year thing. But you can't be like, this guy's a quality player. You can see why England want him in the team as well, why Tuchel wants him in the team, why Southgate wants him in the team, why Jurgen Klopp wants him in the team. Every manager that's played has always wanted him in the team. So he is that guy. He's obviously on the back end of his career. No one's saying he's your favourite midfielder, but you don't recognise how good a player is until you play with them. And I'm telling you, there's a few of these players, if you went and played with them in the fives, you'd be like, oh my God. Like this brother is different. And that's what Henderson is. He's dedicated, he's solid, he's a good professional. And right now, he's got that ping on a sixpence. He's got that ping. He's finding man. He's finding man back-to-back games against the big dogs. He done it against Chelsea, he done it against United, where he's catching it. And man, it's relationships. Man's got a runner, he finds him. He's used to this. He used to do that with Mane and Salah. Remember he done the outside of the foot pass against United? To Salah. Come on, man. Come on.
Man said Jordan.
Vindicated. You know all this stuff when I used to argue against man. I feel vindicated.
You know, Henderson got his sat nav faster. Yeah, he has. But remember, people forget Henderson was on. I remember watching it. The skills thing that they used to do on.
On the
Jordan Henderson was on there doing skill. I said, obviously, when I'm looking back and I watched it, I was like, oh my days, that was Jordan Henderson this whole time. Brother was doing skill. Like you would have thought he was going to become like this tricky, like winger type of thing, just because of the skills he was doing was what you would expect of those kind of players, the flary kind of players. I promise you, Jordan Henderson.
If you got me a ball right now and man saw me doing in the kids think, they always ask me, so why are we a centre back? I'm like, yeah, you man that are deep in the football thing.
Yeah, like, it's true. Yeah, it's true.
If you saw, if I flicked up a ball in that, man would think, oh, like you're Zlatan, you're mad tall and you're doing all around the world, catching it on your neck and flicking it up and catch it. Bruv, I'm a centre back. that don't mean jack, bruv. This is when I talk about when man talk about your Diaz's, and the Dokus. This is when we go back to it. You man not deep in how good them man are. You man aren't really deep in, like, for a man to be able to what? Ball comes first time over his head, he's dinking it over Reece James's head.
Myth. That wasn't mad. I remember that boy. That was mad. I keep saying it, but that Diaz was.
You think, no, but forget that. The Diaz that man were cooking, what he done to Walker and Rodri.
Yeah, okay, yeah, fair enough against City. Yeah.
Name me another forward, bar Mane, right, and maybe bar Salah. I'll give it to them. In the last 15 years, that could have been able to do that. Apart from them three, no one in our damn team. No one else, bro. No one else. None don't understand the ability to take two man on and they're just out of the game. That's it. You can't let that go, bro. You can't let that go, because you let that go, and this is what you get. What we're seeing now for Liverpool. I know I'm going back to Liverpool, but this is what we're seeing. You see a Gakpo that looks like, bruv, he don't know what he's doing. He's cutting inside. He's cutting. No matter what, he's seen a wall there, just cutting inside. You're seeing Salah, he's just cutting inside, taking shots off man, blocking shots.
God, where's the game that we loved, man? Where's the game, man? I said down.
Do you miss Klopp? Do you miss Klopp? Sorry, do you miss Klopp?
It's funny, someone asked me that the other day, they were like, yo, gee, what do you think about Klopp? I said, you know what, between 2017 to 2020, I liked that Klopp football. Like, it was exciting, but also it was just I was so sure that we would just win games. Like the team, I keep saying it, I know I'll go back to this. When you were in the tunnel against Liverpool in the 18-19 season, Van Dijk, monster unit, Matip next to him. But then on top of that, you looked at the midfield and you thought, I could tell that the opposition would look at the midfield and say, bro, this is long. This is long. This is going to be a long day. I know I'm going to have to run. I know I'm going to get pressed. So I need to make sure my touches is all on point. It's mad. It's mad. So yeah, that Klopp, that version, yeah, I would say I missed that. But in a general sense, nah, man. You know what I mean, like, man, we moved on, man. Like, it's like when you break up. You know what I mean, with your girl, you just gotta. Sometimes you just gotta let that shit go, man. Let that shit go. I digress, though. I digress. Villa 3-1. Finally, Aston Villa are getting some points on the ball. Finally, more importantly, though, they scored goals, though. 3 goals in this game. I saw Watkins goal. That was a funny goal. Fulham obviously taking the lead in this game. Raul Jimenez, he had to come off actually after 11 minutes. Apparently, he broke a record. It is the quickest time a player has ever scored and been substituted ever in the Premier League history. Raul Jimenez. He got injured.
Wait, oh, he got injured. Okay.
Yeah, he got injured. Yeah, the only other player who was quicker than that. The only other player who's quicker than that was Samuel Eto'o was second. He had the record previously when he scored against Arsenal, and then he had to come off not too long afterwards. But Villa, man, I don't know. I've not watched too much of Villa, so I'm not going to sit here and lie. But from the little I've seen, they just look like they could not score a goal. We've got Harvey Elliott, who has gone to Villa and ain't nothing going over that side for him. When you look at Aston Villa just in general, right? Obviously, they were a team that were challenging for the top 4. They were trying to get Champions League. They got Champions League, to be fair. They were trying to have a deep run in the FA Cup last season as well. Where are they at for you? Like, in general, like, do you see them as like Champions League contenders? Like, obviously, it's only 6 games, so it's not much, but from what you've seen anyway, kind of thing with them.
Aston Villa look shocking. It seems like they've got no midfield. I was surprised with the Fulham game.
Yeah, man.
Tielemans, I don't know. Yeah, I haven't seen Tielemans in a while. They've just got pure Morgan Rogerses and Elliott's and Marlons, but I don't know how they fit all in the same team. Kamara and Onana are always injured.
Always.
Their centre backs seem a bit just stale. Like, bruv, I'm tired of Tyra Mings, bruv. I'm just tired. You know, like, yeah, I know you're a Premier League player, but you shouldn't be at this moment in time, maybe. Or maybe you should just move a different club. Maybe you should be at a different club. I feel like he's been there for ages now. Matson's been crap. Yeah, I mean, that Spanish brother was at Moreno. He's been crap, considering he was supposed to replace Matty Cash, and Matty Cash still looks like he's doing the business, even though he's had a resurgence of form. McGinn's the baller in there. He's there, Henderson.
Yeah, he's the only one. Like, he seems like the only one.
He's the only one. Watkins, but Ian Wright kind of said it on the overlap. He thinks Watkins ain't improved since flipping Brentford. Because then my man's still missing the same chances. He's still doing the basic runs.
Okay.
He's not leveled up. He's saying.
So, okay, on that point, yeah, and this goes to any other player that you're going to talk about in terms of when we speak about this. So, are you saying, yeah, because obviously Watkins, obviously then he had a season at Villa where he obviously bagged bare goals. Like,
yeah.
Are you saying that, like, even with him scoring those goals, or the goals that he has scored for Villa, regardless of that, are you more putting that down to, well, you're just getting more chances to score those goals?
I think it's more chances. I think, look, if you're on a good run of form, a crap player can be on a good run of form and bag. That happens. Not crap, by the way. I'm not saying he's crap at all. I think he's one of the better ones in the Prem. But I mean, like, a rubbish player can still be on a good run of form. I'm not saying he's rubbish. But he also benefited from the fact that Duran was there. And, you know, when Duran's breathing down your neck and he's slapping in screamers and that, there's more of an onus for you to be like, I need to. And the mentality shifts. When you know you're the main guy and you're just there, it's like the sum of the chances he was missing. Bro, Bruv, some of the chances my man was missing, it was like, really? Like, even in the game, in the last game, I was like, this is just, you're taking the mick now, bruv. Like, the goals you're missing, and even the goal when he lobbed it over the keeper, I thought, oh no, is he going to miss that? You know, like,
Yeah, it
oh
looked
no,
like
like,
just
it
about
looked
them.
like,
Yeah,
bruv, just about, and it just, obviously it helped him because, like, if he had just lobbed it a bit lighter and the ball bounced like not where it did, because obviously it went quite high and dipped under the bar,
yeah,
Bassi gets it.
yeah. Bassi gets it. Yeah, he'll get that. He'll get that.
So it was like one of them ones where I was like, oh Jesus. He's he's a good striker. He's a good he's a good like decent Premier League striker, but he needs too many chances to score.
Yeah,
He's not swivel bang. Like you know, even like Defoe was a swivel bang guy. I don't even think he can do that. You know, Defoe just touch bang. I've never seen that with Watkins. It's touch, stumble around. You know what I mean? And look, if he's on form, he's on form. And he's a player, but it's just weird. And then obviously, I don't know, their signings just ain't been great. Like that winger that they got, like they got rid of Bailey, they got rid of in the last 2 seasons, they've got rid of Bailey and they've got rid of Diaby.
Yeah, they have, innit? Yeah, shit, yeah. Bailey and Diaby, that's mad.
Jacob Ramsey gone.
Jacob Ramsey
Duran
gone.
gone.
Yeah.
Duran gone. Who else? I'm trying to think. Yeah, and they're relying
Asensio
on
gone back. Rashford not
Asensio
there as
gone back.
well.
Rashford not there. Marlon just, brother, I don't know what happened with him, but no.
Marlon, excuse me. Marlon seems like a weird player, man. I thought he was gonna be I thought he was gonna be a bit better for them. Like I just thought, oh, for Villa, this is like a good signing. That's what I thought. But clearly, Gissan. But this is just a Tom Little player. This is just a Tom Little player because only he talks about this Gissan, brother. He's the only one. Like he's the only Tom. Big up Tom. He's the only person I've ever seen talk about this Gissan guy. I don't know how good he or bad he is. I'm not saying that he's good or bad. Just he was the only one I've seen talk about Gissan, and I'm like, all right, well. Right now for Villa, he just looks dead food. Tom, stop playing football manager. All right, let's move on to.
And Fulham, by the way, Fulham, I was surprised.
Sorry, chat to me,
Fulham. Fulham, I was surprised. I think Fulham have been decent. They didn't sign a lot of players. I think Marcus Silva weren't happy, but they've kept the core. I think they're still a decent team. They've got some good results, and that Kevin. He's not going to be Josh King player, but you see Kevin, that Brazilian Kevin,
going to go Chelsea at some point in time, bro.
That Brazilian Kevin, bro, he's going to end up at City. You're going to end up at City or end up at Barca. I'm just going to put it out there now. You're going to end up and you're going to be like, oh, yeah, what?
You know, at Barcelona, we got like standards, Joe. You know what I'm saying? We got like
but I'm telling you, he's going to end up just like Rafinha, just at the same standards. You turned your nose up at Rafinha, now you're loving him. You did. You turned your when you signed him, you're like, it is where it is. I remember you were saying it is where it is. He took him on the bench. That's what you did. You did, bro.
Okay.
You fully did.
Here, this
not for Liverpool, not for Barca though. Not for Barca. Like, yeah, you can't.
Okay. The thing is, the way you're saying it is that's exactly how I would have said it. Listen, look, I literally recorded a video the other day of Rafinha. I wanted him sold like at the beginning of last season, like before he had the season he had. I was like, bro, sell this, bro. Like, what do you mean keep him? Bro, he's shit, bro. Then he goes up and now he's top 5 Ballon d'Or player, I'm not gonna lie and say I wanted Rafinha. Everything Jerry said, 100% I said that. I was like, bro, why are you signing Rafinha? Like, you're Barca. Like, I need some. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, it would have made more sense if you signed this Luis Diaz. But obviously, they got in Marcus Rashford now, who I think has been kind of sick for them anyway. And he's a bit different to what they are kind of used to. But it's also funny watching Rashford because you can see that obviously he's never played this style of football before. So watching him in this system always makes me laugh because I'm like, you're like the outlier in this system. Like you do everything. You're so direct. You're strong. You're quite powerful. You play the English way just as a winger, whereas he's at Barcelona where they play a certain style, man. But no, I agree with you about Fulham. I like Josh King and I like Kevin. I think those two are really good. Harry Wilson, I hope he can. You know what I mean? He kind of needs to. He's a weird player because I think as a footballer, Harry Wilson is very good. very
Yeah.
good as a footballer. But I almost feel like you've just not been able to take your game like because Fulham, like Iwobi, for me, he took his game to a next level. Like for me, like he's gone up a level in terms of how I viewed him when he left Arsenal to go to Fulham. I was like, yeah, this looks like one of them bog standard players, bro. I look at Iwobi and think, brother, he creates. He can dictate tempo when I need him to dictate tempo. He can play wing back if I need him to play wing back. He can play in the forward line, play midfield. Bro, like Iwobi's been moving mad recently. Like, so big up to Iwobi in that regards. But you're right about Fulham. You're right about Fulham. They're one of them kind of teams, man. I hope they can just have a little run. They weren't able to really sign players. I know they signed Kevin, but they weren't really able to do much business. I remember them. The Marcus Silva was like, he's been moaning about it because their owners are rich. So I didn't quite understand why they can't really spend any money.
And they let go of Pereira as well. And that was
Pereira, Pereira, he's
rotation.
king. You know what I'm saying? Like they got the players, man. All right, on to Jerry's second team. Spurs versus Wolves. 1-1, man. I can't lie. In the last couple of games, Spurs have disappointed me. In the last couple of games. Not really been too best pleased with their performances. I think even against Wolves, you could have said they were lucky to get the draw. Because I felt like Wolves are sticking it on Spurs quite a bit in this game. What are you saying about Spurs, man?
I agree. But, you know, we just spoke about Palace and their unbeaten run. And look, Spurs aren't losing.
Yeah, true. Very true. Very true.
So they're going to have dips. They're going to have times where they're inconsistent. They're going to have times where, you know, they're questioned. But look, they're playing in... they're in Champions. Yeah, they're in Champions League. Yeah.
They won.
So they're playing Champions League. So they're playing Champions League football for the first time in quite a bit, right? They've got a few players, just like Liverpool, that need to bed in terms of Javi Simmons, Jai Painha, Kudus.
Quality players, by the way. Got to play.
Yeah, by the way, good signs they've made. But obviously, just those three players alone, they've kind of had to bed them in, and the new manager, to be fair. So they're still getting to grips with what they're doing, but there's an identity with how they want to go and play. You can tell, this is a Thomas Frank bit. It's not Brentford. It's a bit more adjusted, but you can still see, I know that's Spurs playing when I see them play. And this is only in like 6-7 games. And yeah, they're getting last minute winners as well. So, you know, they're keeping up the pace. They're not dropping points. Wolves, done really, really well. And look, that might have been a game last season that they lose, but they didn't. So yeah, I've been a bit, you know, their performances have dropped, but you know they will have that, and I think until I think later on in the season will probably be a better barometer to go and see what Thomas Frank's done with them. But no, he's quality. I like Kudus. I like Javi Simmons. I like Painha. I like they've still got like Kulusevski and this man to come back, and Maddison to come back, and Solanke to come back, and you start looking at it, and they got depth. They got real depth. So do you know what I mean? They've got Udogi. They've got what's the other man?
Obviously Porro.
What's the other fullback? What's the other fullback, man? Jed Spence. They've got Jed Spence.
They've got Porro.
They've got Van der Ven. They've got Romero. They've got Danzo. So look, they've got a decent team, and Paine is going to be important to anything they do. And against the big teams, they'll be able to set up, and they've got a manager that's going to know and get everyone on the same wavelength. They're going to be able to counter really, really well. So look, it'll be interesting to see how they do. But yeah, I like their players. I like their signings. Yeah.
No, man. Let's see what happens with them. West Ham versus Everton. Nuno's first game. He only got appointed on the Saturday, and obviously his first game was on Monday, so not much turnaround in terms of
two days,
2 days,
4 hours,
bro.
4 hours, bro.
And that's not a lot really to get your ideas across and stuff like that. But listen, West Ham, obviously Jared Bowen. I know that's Jerry's guy. I know you like Bowen. He's a good player, man.
You see the finish. You see the finish.
Bro, the finish was mad. Throw that into the As in, when he took the shot, I just knew this was going in. I was like, this is going in. Like I could tell before he even hit the back of the net. Everton, man, obviously at home, they might feel a bit disappointed because obviously West Ham have been on a bit of a bad run at the beginning of the season. They probably came into this game thinking, you know what, we can get a 3 points here. By the way, that Diouf guy that they have, West
It's
Ham have,
cold.
bruv, that
Hold on,
run
hold
that
on.
he did. Sorry, go on.
Do you remember? No. Before you go, just putting that there. Do you remember when Liverpool linked this brother?
Yeah.
Was it
I remember
last
I was gonna do
year?
a video. I was gonna do a video on him.
You
I
probably done a
remember.
video. And we decided to get flipping Kirkers, bro. Why did Liverpool move away from doing what they're good at, which is going and getting? Because you see, Diouf ain't getting bullied for the Kirkers goals, you know.
No. That big, nah, he ain't getting bullied at all.
Bruv, anyway, continue. Bruv, the pace.
Bro, he had two men on it, like the second, I don't know who the second person was coming, trying to like behind the other defender. Man just kicked it, almost ran around them to then put the ball in. And the thing is, I know what it feels like when you've had to do a long run from like one side of the pitch to the other, right? We already know it's a long, by the time I even get to this point, do I have enough energy? Bro, he still had the energy to put that ball into the box with serious power before obviously Bowen obviously got headed, and then Bowen obviously took the shot and then it went in. But yeah, man, he looks like a really good player. And West Ham are so weird because I don't look at their team and think their team is dead. Like I feel like your team's on like the same level as Fulham, but Fulham don't look as rubbish as you. So I don't know if that's a Graham Potter thing. I don't know if that's a West Ham just in really bad form. It's the early part of the season. They still need time to gel, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a funny one with them. But Everton, yeah, like I said, I feel like they would have felt a little bit disappointed not coming away with 3 points or not getting the 3 points in this game. I like Jack Grealish's start to his time at Everton. Ndiaye, I think is a good player. Well, I think he's a calm player anyway, for Everton. And I think they've got a nice little structure over there. I feel like they're just nice. They can nicely finish in. If Everton finished ninth or eighth, I wouldn't be surprised. I won't be like, oh my god, how did they finish? I'll be like, no, that probably sounds about right because they got a good team, they
Yeah.
got a decent manager, they play decent football enough for those players. Getting in Dewsbury Hall, getting in Jack Grealish, I feel like they got enough, man. But what do you think about obviously this game and just the two teams in general? Like, how are you looking at both of them?
Look, West Ham, I watched that game. West Ham were kind of devoid of confidence. They kind of wanted to sit in,
Even with the new
be
manager bounce, you
patient.
don't think it was really there?
Yeah, but there was still, you could see they were lacking confidence. Everton stuck it on them. Like Everton, like Dewsbury Hall was cooking. Yeah. Grealish was getting the ball loads of little touches, fouls in around the box. And I mean, they conceded a set piece again. And yeah, that was just frustrating, bruv. The ball's come out. He's touched the ball. He's whipped it in. No one's marking. No one presses the ball, so no one stops the cross. Short corner. No one switched on. Ball going to the box. Great header. Great delivery from Ghana, who's got a wicked right foot on him. Yeah, and then obviously second half much better, but first half, look, West Ham looked dangerous when they attacked. Like they didn't have a lot of attacks, but when they did attack, it looked dangerous. A couple of times Fulkrug was there. He called himself a menace and stuff, but and they used him a bit more the way they did Chris Wood. Like they'd lump it up to him, you hold it up, set man. So it was working all right. But second half, that's when they really kind of turned it on a bit, and Nuno Santa probably got into them a bit. And look, they got the result in it. Like really good finish from Bowen. He's quality. Like he's actually just quality. Like he's another player. Like this is, and I tell man about from before. But I'm like, he's playing for a crap team and he's consistent. And a man that can just wrap it in like that, top bins quick. Yeah, problem. Yeah, man. So look, good for them. Look, for a start with no, real defensive, like structure in place yet. Look, they done all right, man. They done all right, and yeah, we'll have to wait and see how it works out. Ironically, Ward-Prowse was left out, which I found interesting.
Bro, the West Ham fan, bro, listening to my cousin and listening to a few of the others, bro, they hate this guy. They're not trying to see this product. Bro, they're not trying to see him play.
How come? What's he done?
They're saying that when he hasn't got the legs to play in the midfield, so the midfield is constantly getting overrun, and Graham Potter was always picking him. Now, obviously, you just said there that he didn't play. So, do you know what I'm saying? And now they drew a game, whereas they were losing games with him in the midfield. I'm not saying there's a correlation, and I don't watch West Ham enough to know if that's true. But from what people are telling, man, I'm like, right, yeah, 100%, Jez. Like the way they talk, like the way I've heard West Ham fans talk about Ward-Prowse, I was like, is he been that bad? Like, is it that deep that you don't want him to play? Like, you want him out of the team and that? Like, who did I was watching? It's funny because I was watching Filthy Fellas yesterday, and one of the guys he was talking about Ward-Prowse, and he's like, yeah, he's probably a lovely guy, obviously golf and that, but yeah, nah, sorry, man, he got a cold. I was like, yeah, you see, it's getting kind of peaked with him, but listen, man, we'll wait and we shall see. Sunderland 1-0 away to Nottingham Forest. I didn't watch this game, just saw the highlights, so I couldn't tell you too much. But Sunderland, they're getting points. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, when I always say this, yeah, for promoted teams, the early part of the season is probably more important, because the reason why the end of the season seems like that is because, bro, you're playing catch up at this point. You're 10 points off of relegation or the relegation places. So you're trying to, you know, find the points somewhere. You're hoping that I can get this form. No. Get the points early so that you can chill for the rest of the season. You can just chill.
Yeah. They're
with the team that
a quarter. They're a quarter of the way through, bro. So they're magic 40 points. They're a quarter of the way through already.
Facts.
So they got 11 points. Yeah, they've got players. Xhaka, another one. A man that didn't really. Man, but this is what I'm saying. But man didn't rate. This is what I don't understand. It's like certain players, they don't rate certain players, but then they go somewhere and they bang. And I just don't. I never understand that. I never understand it. Like when he was at Arsenal, I used to tell man, Xhaka's a baller. Man used to be like, man used to kill me for it. He's crap. He's crap. He's crap.
I think though, because I would have backed anybody who said that against you. But I do think that at Arsenal and at Leverkusen, he weren't playing the same kind of role.
At Leverkusen, bro, they won the league, and
no,
he was their best player.
No, that's what I'm saying, is that he wasn't doing the same role at Leverkusen. So when he got to Leverkusen, they put him in his position, whatever that role is, whatever that is. That was what Xhaka was good at. That's what he was doing at Mönchengladbach. But then Arsenal had him doing whatever he was doing over there at Arsenal. So it just looked shit, kind of thing. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes,
so
yeah, no, 100% agree, man. It's like Gini Wijnaldum. It's like Morton. It's like Diaz. It's like yeah. Sounds like Morton. Sounds like all these brothers that I was. I remember telling you Morton can play, and you were like,
we're not doing Morton prop this morning, bro. We're not doing.
Did I not tell you? When we used to talk, I used to be like, Morton, is Morton not an option? Like, brother, he's not. He's rubbish. And I was like, he's not. He's better than I used to tell, man.
Based on what you... And stop laughing. Based on what you saw...
By the way, I'm saying the same thing about Curtis Jones. A man are not going to want to hear it until he goes somewhere and ends up being flipping Ballon d'Or nominee. And we're going to be like, oh, yeah, that brother. Yeah.
Hear what I'm saying,
man.
Did any of... And it ends this for you and everyone else in the freaking chat, yeah? Did any of you... Can you categorically say, whilst Morton was at Liverpool, you saw performances at Liverpool that made you think, yeah, he can get into the Liverpool team?
Do you know what it is? It's not performances for me. This is what I look at. Because performances, you know, like you could have one game and have a poor performance, right?
Yeah.
Like as a scout, as a coach, bro, if players coming to me, a player might have a poor performance. But I'm not judging him just on the performance. I'm judging him on the player that he is. So if I go and see, but the way he took that touch, or the way he's popping around, the way his head's on the swivel, he can play. I know he can play, but his performance might be crap. And I can see it with Morton. And I can see it with Jones. I'm keep telling, man, play the damn, give the guy flipping a run of games. Just give him a run of games. Same thing with Rio, bro. Rio, just give him a run of games, bro. Give these players a run of games. Then we'll know. Then we'll know that it's as simple as that. These players that we're talking about, it's just like Xhaka, bruv, his performances might be crap, but I'm seeing him get the ball and slap it 60 yards on a man's feet. Do you know how difficult that is? With Swaz, like man aren't realizing that, bruv, there's certain players that are just ballers. But by the way, just sticking on Sunderland though, yeah, they've bought really well.
Oh yeah.
The fan base are behind them. The fan base is really, really good. They're not crying anymore. Sunderland till I die, and that they've got players that can change games. Isidore, he's Henri reincarnated. I'm putting it out there. Man, I'm gonna start the compilations. They're gonna come out. They're gonna start making him look like Henri because he's got that. See that inside. I was watching the championship last season. When that ball runs through and he opens his body up, cash money. And they've got players, like I said, you can finish. Isidore's got what, 4 or 3 goals in the Prem, and he ain't started, and he ain't started every game. So yeah, man, they've got players, man. They got a team. They're controlling games. Ballards are sent like that. They've got a good mix of just players that are going to be effective in the Prem because of their physicality, but also players that help promote them in the Championship.
When I think about Sunderland as well, like just adding to Jerry's point, when I look at their centre backs, their centre back is, what's the guy's name? Michael, I don't know,
Michele, yeah.
Him, yeah, he looks solid. He, like, every time I've watched Sunderland, like 2 times I watched Sunderland, he just looks solid. Like, I'm always like, nah, but he looks like, I don't know, obviously PSG before, so he's been at big clubs.
PSG and Leverkusen, yeah.
Knows what
those are the teams he was at, though. You know, like he could easily be at Liverpool. That's a player that could easily get
100%. Like, there's not, I can't see the difference between him and a Gomez. And if anything, I'll probably take him just because Gomez is always, is always injured. But nah, listen, man, Sunderland are, we'll get to them, and we'll get to them in the table in a sec, but they're just moving. They're moving mad, man. They're moving mad. Last game, Bournemouth versus Leeds. Leeds versus Bournemouth, 2-2. Don't know if you saw the goals. Semenyo, his free kick, man, just rasped it into the net. And what was so funny about the free kick goal that he scored was that they had a, everyone now puts a player behind the wall so that the player can obviously block it or whatever for that very reason. And guess what? He still rasped it into the damn net. Like, I think Semenyo is on this like crazy rich vein of form right now where the performances are also matching what he's doing on the pitch in terms of his effectiveness, in terms of him picking up the ball and just taking the onus. It seems like Iraola has told him, you're going to be the main Don. We want you to be our Salah kind of thing in terms of, no, we need you to create. We need you to score the goals. We need you to find yourself in positions. But obviously it's different because he's strong. He's quick. He can get in behind. He can find the space when he needs to find the space. And he seems to be making the right decisions. Now, I remember watching him when he was at the Bristol City. And I remember thinking, you just remind me of like a proper typical raw player. That's what you just reminded me of. But you see now, yeesh. Yeah, no, but ends. Remember, we were talking about Rodrigo and them, man. Semenyo and that. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, there's maybe levels.
Like I said, I'd rather have Semenyo than Gakpo. But at the time, I was like, brother, you bring Semenyo to be there with Diaz, but not to replace Diaz. That was my argument.
Yeah. 100%.
Because Semenyo will at least he'll go down the line. He'll go down the line and whip it with his left foot.
Yeah. He'll actually use his left foot and he's actually pretty decent, by the way, with his left foot.
He whacks it with his left foot still.
You seen the shooting drill? With the video of him doing the shooting?
Yeah. The shooting drill thing when he's just on the pre-season, like off season, isn't it?
Yeah, bro, it was mad. It was mad. I said, and this goes to what Jerry said. And listen, look, Jerry and Nens, they're in football, so they will see this a lot more than I would, right? But you know something, again, when you're watching your team, right, the team that you coach, when you're watching some of the players, and then maybe you go somewhere else, I don't know, an academy or your boys or whatever, and you watch certain players do certain things, and you just know in your head, like, this brother's a baller, bro. Like, you are just a baller. Like, you're a good football player. Obviously, there's going to be other factors as to why, you might not make it to the certain level, but you as a football player, ridiculous. Nah, man, bun them and get Semenya. Yeah, but listen, dude, he's got
No, Gakpo's your Don ends, bruv. Gakpo's your guy, Mr. Cody. You backed him just like you backed Nunes. You know that there's always.
Hey, and you know what? And people are never gonna let you live with this newness. Like till the day that you stop doing YouTube, like newness will just be your thing, man. And but
You're so
obviously those
funny.
are the
I read football with ends. Yeah, I read no the other one. I read that in that ends way. Nah, that's exactly what he'd say, innit?
oh yeah, like, nah, yeah.
Yeah. Nah, I'm
Hey,
joking.
like,
No, Diaz was this guy.
big up, man. Obviously the table in itself, we'll get to that in a second, but look, man, I mean, last season, Crystal Palace were at this point in the season, they were 18th. They're now currently, well, I think they might be third now. I'm sure it's third. Obviously, Southampton, Sunderland, sitting in where they're sitting in the league. Bournemouth doing really well. Seems like some of these teams that we didn't really expect. Do you get what I'm saying? They're doing pretty decently in the league. Here's the table, people. Here is the table. So Liverpool are still in first place, 2 points ahead of Arsenal, 3 points ahead of Crystal Palace, and 4 ahead of Spurs. Sunderland points 11, joint with Bournemouth and Spurs, so they're doing pretty well. Man City in 7th, that's crazy. Chelsea in 8th, 2 points back on them, alongside Everton, Brighton, Fulham, Leeds. Fucking hell, there's a lot of teams on the same points. And then yeah, bottom of 3 is Burnley, West Ham, and Wolves. I'm gonna ask you this, Jerry. Based on everything you've seen so far from these 6 games, based on where everybody is right now, who are the 3 teams you think would get relegated? Crazy, Wolves only have 1 point.
Wolves, I think, will get relegated. I think Burnley get relegated.
You think Burnley will get relegated?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get relegated. And I think United. I'm gonna put it out there. I think United get relegated. I'm putting it out there. I know it's mad, but I know it's mad, but I think United get relegated. I think it's the year that everything goes like you're looking at it and you're like, oh my god, last day of the season, it's their 17th, and then someone just sneaks it, like Forest or someone. Because I don't know who else. Usually, like there's teams that have 0 points at this time, innit?
Yeah.
Wolves have 1, but West Ham and Burnley have 4. All they've got to do is win 1 game and they're level on points to United.
True.
I feel like Newcastle will be all right. They had a trickier start. Maybe Villa. But Villa with Emery, I just trust Emery too much.
Yeah, I don't feel like relegation.
And Leeds have already got 8 points. Do you know what I mean? So it's like they've already got 8 points. So it's like, are they really going to get relegated? I'm looking at the guys that got 7 and below, and it could be any of those teams. I think maybe Brentford, but I don't know. Maybe Brentford because of Keith Andrews. I'm just going to go United. Why not?
Who do you think? Okay, I know I had Man United in top 7. Don't worry, bro. Like, how far are Man United from top 7? 10 points. And bro, they're only 3 points off top 7. They're calm, man. Don't watch that. Where do you think Crystal Palace will finish this season?
Seventh.
Oh, that's good. That's a good place for them to finish.
7th or 6th.
I mean, 6 is even better. I'm sure it's 5, 6, 7. Don't you get Europa League? I'm sure 7 is Europa League.
No, 5. No, yeah, 6, 7 get Europa League. Yeah.
Yeah, thought so.
I think they'll get Europa. I think they'll get Europa.
That would be sick. And last question, man. Do you think Liverpool will go and win the league?
I think Liverpool still win the league because
Okay.
they've got a brother called Virgil van Dijk that is the epitome of God in footballing terms.
Probably the best player in the world.
Yeah, I think he's by far the best player in the world.
Mm.
And I just believe that he is the savior. Like if we were just to average out, let's say Liverpool continue to play the way they did, but every 5 games they lost a game. That'd be 6 losses, roughly.
You think you can get away with losing 6 and win the league?
If you win all the other games, yeah.
If you win all the other games, fair
if
enough.
you win all your other games, I think you can.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, I expect Liverpool to get better. Like I just expect like Isak will come good. Verts will come good. Like when, that is a question, but there will be a period where he comes good. I trust Slot will be able to sort this out. Like I have to, innit? Because otherwise, if I don't believe he's going to sort out, I might as well ask for his head now.
Very true.
Because the amount of P's you spent, bruv, right now, like, you know what I mean? I don't give a toss about whether you won the league last year or not, bro. You spent 500 million, bro. You better make this work. About
Yeah,
another chance. A chance for what? A chance for what?
He has to he fully has to make it work. There really isn't even anything else that he can actually
Look,
say.
and if he doesn't, if Liverpool end up 4th and you get knocked out of the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup and get dumped out of the Champions League, bro, I'm not going to ask for his head on a spike. And I think that's fair. Because you have no rule changes to deal with, brother.
No, it's true. These are the next fixtures, though. I mean, Arsenal's run looks easier.
Yeah.
I mean, Liverpool got Chelsea, 10 United at home, Brentford away, Villa at home, City away. Arsenal got West Ham at home, Fulham away, Palace at home might be was going to be tricky. Burnley away could be tricky just because. And then, actually, maybe Sunderland away the way they're playing, you never know.
Do you know what's hilarious? Chelsea, 5 at the back. United, 5 at the back. Brentford, 5 at the back.
5 at the
Villa,
back.
I've played us. Villa, 5 at the back.
Yeah. It could get sticky. All I'm saying is, you don't have to tell me which teams. I don't want to know the teams. How many points do you think Liverpool take from that? Don't need to tell me the team, just the points. Like, how many do you think it would make?
Between 10 and 13.
Okay, that's still 5, 10, 15, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Okay, you're saying between 10 and 13.
Yeah, I think Liverpool, I think they beat Chelsea. I know it's mad. I think they beat United. I think they beat Brentford. I think they might draw to Aston Villa. I think they might draw to City.
What about Arsenal? How many points do you think they can take from this?
I think they beat West Ham. I think they beat Fulham. I think they draw to Palace.
That'd be good.
I think they smash Burnley. And then the Sunderland one, I'm not sure because Sunderland haven't faced a big team yet.
Sunderland. I don't think so.
No, I think Villa's the only team they faced, and Villa had 10 men in it. No, or did Sunderland have 10 men? No, Villa.
Sunderland. Remember?
Oh, Sunderland had 10 men. Yeah, it was Sunderland.
Yeah.
So it's only Villa, and that's the only game I remember. But they haven't played. I do want to see how Sunderland operate versus
a bigger team.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they set up against Liverpool and see how Liverpool deal with that, because it will just be interesting. Yeah, do you know what I mean? It'll be interesting.
Listen, man, that's going to be hilarious to see what Liverpool do when it comes to those kind of games, man. But guys, big up to everybody.
What are you thinking? Before we go, what are you thinking of today?
What's happening today? Oh,
Galatasaray.
Draw. I think Liverpool get a draw. I think they'll get a draw purely off the basis that the atmosphere is going to be so toxic for Liverpool to be able to play in, that I just think with the form of the players, they like, I don't think they'll lose. I don't think Liverpool will lose. I don't really see a loss like that. Liverpool don't lose that many games, so it's hard to see losses. I just think.
Do you know what? Do you know what Scott's gonna come out and say afterwards?
What?
The biggest game I was involved in.
No. He'll say the biggest atmosphere. That will be his next week. Be like, this is probably the biggest atmosphere ever. Brother, I beg you act like you've been here, bro. Like, as in, I don't care about your atmospheres, about who the teams you're playing. You don't hear PSG saying, yeah, man, this is the... You think Enrique cares about fucking playing against Liverpool when he's played for Barcelona with Messi and... Well, forget all of that. I'm not trying to hear that, man. All right, don't do that kind of... I don't like that kind of stuff, man, because it makes you seem like you don't belong here. Like, it's like you just got your first rollie and now you're rolling to the club and that.
Do you know who's really behaving like that, by the way? Do you know who's really behaving like that? Kirkers, bro. Since before he got here, bro, yeah. I really don't like him, bro. He's one of them, man. You just annoy me, bro. If I was part of the team, I'd be like, bro, I don't want to sniff the man. You know, them man that he comes and he's like, yeah, I'm bouncing, bro. You're chatting with the man them near the coffee bar at AXA. My man turns up, you're like, bro, I'm cutting. You just pissed me off now, bro.
He's annoying, man. Yeah, him and I don't think he will. One player. Obviously, I'll do a month review after this game. I'll do the month review. But one player I have probably the only player I've been impressed with this month. So I'll give you guys the insight. It's probably just Ekatike. I'll be honest with you, there really isn't anybody else that I'm trying to think, and he's not.
What in terms of new signings, you mean?
Just in general, he's the only player that's probably...
Grab and Soboslai have been all right, to be fair. Them man have been all right.
They have, I think...
Like, they're trying to do stuff. They're licking shots. Like, they're trying to do whatever they can, innit? Like, they're dragging. They're like, no, we're going to step up. The rest of them, man, them. And Verge, of course. Verge has been out.
Yeah, Verge, he was the one I was more thinking of. We'll see anyway. Like I said, tonight's just one of those games that if Liverpool don't win, Jesus Christ, that meltdown that you thought you saw against Crystal Palace, you ain't gonna. It'll be something that's completely different, man. Completely different.
Before we go, I want Liverpool to just get rushed. I'm not gonna lie. I want Osimhen to slap 5, 6. I want there to be. Do it is there needs to be, and I said this. There needs to be an inquest. Like, there needs to be like I can't keep hearing. Like Carragher, I rate him. Man was critiquing Slot and to his face, telling him early on, first game of the season, brother, this isn't good enough. And man tried to laugh it off. This is what we're doing. That's what we're doing.
I didn't say anything about Liverpool getting rushed. I didn't say anything like that. The views of the panelists are their own when they come.
No, they're not. No, we discussed this. I was told to be the negative one on the show because he's hosting.
Man said we staged this. We staged this, bro.
It's all staged. Everything's staged, man.
But no, I hear what you're saying, though. I do hear what you're saying. Listen,
I feel like sometimes you need something shocking to happen that makes you go, oh, wow, like just wakes you up. That's because obviously you can afford to lose that game and still be calm. Like, remember, PSG were losing games early on last season.
True. Very true. And they went on to do what they did.
And they went on to win it. Do you know what I mean? So I don't mind. I don't mind the little. I remember Arsenal got smoked as well. Wasn't it by like Monaco or Lille or someone mad like that?
Or in the Champions League?
Yeah.
Probably.
There was a team, Monaco, Marseille, one of them teams. They just got popped and was like, oh, right.
Yeah, true. It's yeah. No, listen. Look, I said it already on the thing. You see, with Liverpool, that loss to Palace, you needed that loss. It had to come sooner rather than later. Because if it continued the way that things were going, bro, I'm not trying to watch this football, bro. That's why when people ask, I'm not watching I'm too old to be worried or watching something that I don't enjoy. That's like me telling Jerry or someone telling me to watch this series, but the series is shit and I'm just watching it because you asked me to. Bro, why am I still watching it? Like, I'm not watching it anymore. It doesn't entertain me. I don't like it. I just want to move on. Do you get what I'm saying? But yeah, before we go, I just wanted to say big up to everybody in the chat. Big up to those obviously watching. Big up to Jerry for his fight last week. I spoke to him, obviously. I speak to Jerry all the time, to be fair. But I was speaking to him about it, and I said, listen, anybody who gets into the ring, anybody, I don't care who you are, I don't care really the result. We're not professional boxers, so the result isn't really what I look at. But when you get into the ring, yeah, you got something about you. Do you get what I'm saying? Because that is, to me, it always seems like that's so daunting. Like, to get into that square ring like that, and it's just you versus one other person. This ain't like it's football where I could have a shit game, but at least my man might bail me out later on. No. If you have a shit game, that it's on you, everyone's gonna see that. So I just want to say big up to Jerry every single time for that. He's even inspired me. So yeah, man, look out for that and see what he did. He had a boxing match, Marque. He had a boxing match last week. This brother been training. You ain't seen Jerry's beard recently. I told you. When you see the man them's beard is growing, hair's not cut. Look at Jerry today. Fresh trim. You know what I'm saying? The beard is shaped up. Got the glasses on, so now he's got the extra effect. Like, bro, like everything
extra effect.
Bro, everything is on point. Everything, like, he looks sharp. He looks clean. Like, he looks clean. Last couple of weeks, nah, you know why? He's on the grind. So I just want to say big up to Jerry again, man, every single time. And yeah, Pete, man, we'll see. I will do the month review, so I might do that maybe after. Yeah, maybe tomorrow actually. Maybe tomorrow. Yeah, he's got aura. Yeah, like Van Dijk. That's what I'm trying to say. Jerry's got aura. Yeah, I'll do the month review. So we'll chop it up all the results, obviously, of the last month. So obviously the last game will be Galatasaray this evening. So I'll give you kind of my match reaction / thoughts in regards to that. Question for you, Jerry. What weight did you fight at? I don't know.
I thought this is mad. So I lost 14 kg. Mad. So I was at basically on the cusp of cruiserweight, but I fought a heavyweight. So I fought someone that's 120 kg.
120 kg. And you were what?
98.
Let's put it this way. I've been both of those sizes. I know that there's a difference. I know there's a difference with 120 kg and 98. There's definitely a difference. That's
put it this way. That's the equivalent of someone that's 60, a thing that's 60 kg and a thing that's 80 kg. 80 kg, she's a big woman, bruv. 60 kg, considered petite.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. You'll just notice the difference in size, in power, in whatever. I feel like you just notice. All right, last question before we head out then. Which team have you been impressed with the most so far this season?
Marseille. From what I saw in Champions League. Marseille. The way they popped Madrid, different. And yes, they lost, but that's the only team I've kind of watched.
No, I hear it. fully hear it. Barcelona. Yeah, nah, I'm joking. Bournemouth. Bournemouth of the team that I've been probably the most impressed with, if I'm being honest. I like the way they play, and I like Iraola, what he's doing. Probably thought I would have said Palace, but no, it's Bournemouth. It'll be Bournemouth. But guys, listen, man. Gotta head out. I'll catch you guys real soon. Much love to everybody who's tuned in. Enjoy the rest of your day, man. Peace. Love to Jerry for joining in as well. I'll catch you guys soon.
Yeah.
Peace.